Hello and welcome to How Do You Drew?
This is a Drew Barrymore podcast brought to you by thedrewseum.com.
And sponsored by our friends at Positive Medium.
I'm Anne.
And I'm Ashley, coming at you and to you from the year 2024. Woo, that was smooth.
Not the future, but still kind of space age.
Yeah, 2024. What are we doing? Hey, welcome to the new year, guys. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. We are here. That's exciting.
Yeah, and we're pretty much mostly going to be talking about the past.
That's true.
But you know what? We're going to wrap up 2023 and do some other little stuff.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with some Drew tidbits.
Tidbits galore.
Yes. I'll go ahead and jump in right here.
Oh my gosh.
Because I'm talking about something new that was added to our Drew Library more. Well, kind of just our digital archive, but either way, I was at the Academy Museum in Los Angeles just a few days ago. And I walked through this area near the Godfather exhibit, all about casting, and immediately saw this wall of Polaroids.
And can I jump in and say I was there in November of 2022, saw the wall of Polaroids, immediately was like, what if Drew was on here? And she wasn't.
Yep.
But this time
I also was like, what if Drew is on here? Because I immediately thought of that feature. I forget what magazine it's from, like Premiere.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yep. And I was expecting to see that picture just because I was like, that's the one that's been published.
The one from 1992, which she has the brown hair.
Absolutely. But yeah, so I was like just assuming that I was going to see that Polaroid. Lo and behold, a picture that we've never seen. It was like...
Not just a picture, like an amazing picture.
Oh my God. Like, hold on, I can't even find the picture of it. There we go. It wasn't real.
We imagined this whole thing.
So I guess I'll go ahead and let you describe it. But basically, my mind was blown. Immediately, I took a picture of it and sent it to Ashley. Like, I don't even know like what I actually did when I saw it.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, how did you keep from screaming in this museum when you saw that?
Oh my God. And it was like pretty crowded that day, surprisingly.
Oh, okay.
But I like spent a lot of time up close against this glass taking as high quality pictures as I could. So I think I was trying to stay calm and just like take pictures of the information. Yes.
Your hands are shaking. Okay, so let's explain. So this is an exhibit of casting Polaroids by a casting director named Joanna Ray.
Yeah.
And apparently they must have like hundreds of them that they just switch out because this is a totally different set than was up when I went.
Yep.
Thank God you went at the right time.
My God.
And this is Drew in 1994. Her hair is pretty much identical to the way it is in Mad Love, right?
Yep. Yep.
Oh my God. So she has that backpack on that she always had on all the time in 94, especially when she was photographed with Eric. It's like, what does she call it? Serape?
Well, I was going to say, I think it's like a Spanish style backpack that's like woven in different kind of rainbowy colors.
Yes. And then she's wearing this little baby doll tee that has a tiny, cute little rainbow on it. Never seen it.
Me neither.
Oh my God. And it's just like right into the camera. It's like 94 beautiful Drew. Like, just
I mean, I feel like when I was looking at it close up, I was just like, how is the past looking into my soul this deeply? Like, I was just like, oh my God.
It kind of reminds me of when you said 96 Drew as historical hypnosis.
This is almost there, you know? It's like her witchy vibes in 96 kind of adds to the hypnosis somehow, like you know, subconsciously. But this is like, I just want to know this girl.
Oh, it's really beautiful. So if you guys didn't see it on our Instagram, we will share it on the episode page, but it is just to end the year on this new discovery. Just what a treasure, what a joy. Oh, and then lastly, we should mention, so I was like, well, let's see what Joanna Ray was casting around this time.
Oh, yes.
And I saw that she was the casting director for 1995's Showgirls, which we know Drew had been in consideration for the lead. So maybe this was for that. I did a little like story on our Instagram kind of showing what Drew had to say about Showgirls. Maybe we'll get into that in another episode, but very cool to think that this could have been for that. What a different vibe.
Totally.
Okay, let's move on. So speaking of 94 Drew and hanging out with Eric Erlandson, Drew dropped a really cool little tidbit about him in a recent episode of her show, which anytime she name drops one of her exes, I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to hear what she's going to say.
Yeah.
So she was doing the Drewber segment and she had Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell in the minivan. And Glenn was talking about how he used to have a minivan. And then this is what Drew had to say.
They're my favorite minivan. My ex-boyfriend, Eric Erlandson from the band Hole, drove a Toyota Previa in Seattle and he took the middle seats out. It was only the back bench and that's where he'd put all his guitars and it was my favorite car in the entire world.
I did the same thing.
No!
Me and Eric, yeah. Yeah.
I just thought that was really fun. Like, I love hearing something from that time period.
Absolutely. When we get little tidbits like that,
like, that's what we like.
It's all
yum,
about
yum, yum, yum.
Beginning of the show was all about tidbits.
94 tidbits galore.
Oh, yeah. Same year. What did Drew proclaim her love for this past week?
I love love.
Here's what I've collected since the last time we recorded. We'll say that. Not that many this week, but here we go.
Okay.
Drew loves humor, of course.
No way.
Yeah, I know, right? Drew loves a dryer ball.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Holiday movies.
Okay.
And then this is my favorite. 2 men just measuring those muscles.
She's around a lot of gay men, so her appreciation of that, might be colored by that particular joy in her life.
I will say it was in reference to Chris Hemsworth and Jason Momoa having like a muscle off.
Okay, so did you find a Drewsome of the week for this week?
Those cool little isms that we do.
Yes. Speaking of Jason Momoa, they were doing like a truth or dare thing. He asked Drew what she was afraid of, and she got a little serious and said death, and that got deep. But then she got like more fun and started talking about how much she hates goat cheese. So let's hear that.
And goat's cheese.
You're afraid of goat's cheese?
It's disgusting!
Really?
If you want to lick a dirty foot, eat some goat's cheese. It's like toe jam.
A nice gross Druism for you. We love when she gets yucky with them.
I know there was some other thing on the show recently where Ross gave her something that like maybe they would serve at a holiday party, and it was like something with goat cheese on it.
Every once in a while, they force her to have some on the show.
Poor Drew.
just for the reaction shot, I guess.
I happen to really like goat cheese.
Me too.
Okay.
Sorry, Drew.
It is a very smelly cheese.
Yeah.
We're not going to deny that. Nobody's going to deny that. Okay, so now we have a really fun piece of mail.
You've got mail.
Tell me about it.
Oh my God. So this is like hot off the heels of you finding this picture at the Academy. It might have been the same day. I think it was. We got a message from the Instagram user backup1835, and it looks like this user is also named Ashley. So, hey.
Oh, hello, Ashley.
Boy, do we love it when somebody can school us on a piece of Drew information that we don't know about.
Yes.
And boy, did she. So she brought it to our attention that the Beastie Boys, again, 1994, that's the theme of this episode, that their video for Sure Shot, there's a segment in the video. It's a blink and you'll miss it. The lyrics are to all the mothers and the sisters and the wives and the friends. I'm not going to try to rap that. And they flash a bunch of photos very, 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 very quickly. So Drew's one of them. Okay. Why don't you read what Ashley had to tell us?
Okay. Me and my friend were bored teenagers in the 90s and decided to record the video and watch in slow motion because we recognized some of the women. I remember trying to copy Drew's outfit. LOL. I recently came across the video on YouTube and had instant nostalgia. I Googled it and found this Reddit thread with all the women. Looking forward to seeing more old school photos unearthed. I really enjoy the podcast too. Smiley face.
Thanks, Ashley.
Thank you.
I couldn't believe it when I found this is a known music video. Like, it's not rare or obscure, but it's so fast.
I love that they did this.
I know that's something I would 100% have done in the 90s.
Yeah.
So the picture is from either 1992, late 92, early 93. And it looks like Drew's in a hotel room and she's wearing sort of like a androgynous, like she's got like a sweater and baggy pants. We'll share a picture of it, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't want to try to describe it.
It looks like she's wearing dark lipstick.
Yeah, it's just beautiful.
Ugh.
And obviously, we've talked about this before, that Drew lived with Tamara Davis, and her husband at the time was Mike D from the Beastie Boys.
Yep.
And we talked about in an episode, like, how it was surprising that we'd never saw like her at a Beastie Boys show or having much to do with them. So this was so cool. I was like, full circle, like there was something between them that we didn't even know about all this time.
Totally. And I just wanted to like point out a couple other faces in there that I recognize. So I see Chloe Sevigny.
Mm-hmm.
I see Sofia Coppola.
Yep.
I think Kim Gordon from Sonic Youth. I see Tamara Davis.
Right. So then I also see Kennedy from MTV on the top left, which apparently she's like a big Fox News correspondent now, which I'm like, that's disappointing. And then also I recognize Juliana Hatfield on the right, second one down.
Oh, yes, I do recognize her.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's other people that we don't particularly know, but I just thought that was such a cool, man, to learn something like that after all this time. That's why I love being a fan. Just like
absolutely
finding out something new like that.
I just have to say, I love the fact that these two like 1990s things are coming out like literally 30 years later. We're seeing these things we hadn't seen before.
How incredible is that?
I mean, it just gives me a lot of hope for like how much the archive can continue for like ad nauseum, basically.
Right. Like as much as we think we know, or much as we've seen, there's always going to be more.
I mean, sure, she's lived a very full life. We're not trying to like discount and be like, we know everything, but still it's so fun. These things are like part of like, yes, the Polaroid photo, like that just happens to be on display. It's totally like an archive that would normally be closed. This is like has been public. It's just
and no one knew all this time.
Yeah, been hiding.
So huge thanks to Ashley for pointing this out to us. I just can't say enough about how exciting that was to learn.
So rad.
And I was thinking for a minute, like, oh, do we need to add this into Drew being in music videos? But since it's just a photo, I don't think it counts because she's not like acting on the set of, you know what I mean?
Good point.
But it would have been a cool little asterisk to have included in our music video episode. If you guys are ever wondering, we do have a whole episode about all the music videos that Drew starred in.
Okay, so what did we have for the kind comments corner? A place where we look at social media for its positivity.
I love that. That's a good way of describing it. I just happened to come across this one and I thought it was fun because it was coming from someone who clearly was surprised by their own words here. I don't remember where this was. I think it was on probably something the Drew Barrymore Show posted, but this comes from user at manwest888.
Okay, so they said, Drew Barrymore radiates this sort of, quote, white light, unquote, and I never, ever talk like this. She's great.
Isn't that fun?
This is like they were being compelled from within.
I know.
So what is that? Is Drew like a literal angel?
That light. I know.
Oh my God.
Anyway, too fun. Had to point that out.
I love that so much. This week in Drew history, what was happening?
Hey, let's go to January 5th, 2011, which I totally would not have guessed that year correct for this one. I don't know why. But we had the CoverGirl 50th anniversary event that Drew attended.
Uh-huh.
When you think of this, you might just think of orange. That's what I think of.
Bright, bright orange. I would say that I'm generally not an orange fan. I did just get a new tattoo that has a bunch of orange in it. And I realized how much orange I actually have in my wardrobe.
Interesting.
But not this shade.
It's like a creamsicle.
I think Drew looks beautiful.
She really does.
Minus the color.
Okay.
I think one thing that bothers me is the fact that the CoverGirl orange is a different shade of orange than her like tangerine creamsicle dress in front of that backdrop.
Well, I was going to say, first of all, this has grown on me. Like I remember not really caring for it at the time.
Uh-huh.
Because it sort of looks like she's wearing like a sack, but I don't know, like looking at it now, I sort of like it. And then I also just had the thought, and I'm sure I thought this before and have forgotten. I think she's kind of trying to look like a Lash Blast mascara tube.
Oh,
right?
Oh my God. Hold on a second.
But it's fun because the other CoverGirls who were in attendance, and the ones off the top of my head I remember were Taylor Swift, Ellen DeGeneres, and Queen Latifah. They were all just like in basic black outfits. So Drew really stood out as like the most fun look.
Okay, hold on. I want to kind of put it side by side.
We're definitely going to have to do that now.
Actually, I think you're right.
These are perfect.
That's such a good call because that was like one of the products that was like,
yeah, that was a big one. That yeah. All right. Anyway, that's fun. Tell us what you guys think about that look.
Yeah, but it is pretty, but it's memorable because of the color, almost like alone. Like you said, like you might know it.
That might come to mind immediately.
Yes, but that was a fun poll, so thank you. Nice and colorful. Keep us on the positivity train.
I like it.
So then, can you tell me what's new with Drew?
Okay, not too much. Obviously, the holidays, she tends to go a little dormant. But let's see. She did host an AMPAS screening and Q&A with Bradley Cooper for his movie Maestro. And she had actually been raving about the movie and his performance on her show, like right before she did this.
I really want to see that.
Yeah, I'm curious about it. And it's kind of fun. It's a He's Just Not That Into You reunion.
Oh, yeah.
I always forget how many people are in that movie, right?
Absolutely.
I don't even know if they have scenes together, but she obviously knew him from doing the film. She's talked about that.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty fun. And then we also got the Bingo Blitz commercial that she filmed in Toronto over the summer. We finally got that. What is your take on it? Did you watch it?
I did watch it.
Okay.
It was silly, but in exactly the way all the other ones are.
Yeah.
But I do like that Drew seems to be playing, what does she call herself? Like the ruler of the new world or something?
Something like that.
She's wearing a bright pink pantsuit and the beret, I think, seals the deal. It's pretty darn cute.
It's cute. It's silly. Bingo Blitz also did this 3-part featurette. I will link to the 3 parts. It's on their Instagram.
Okay.
They're kind of weird. So it's called Dream Come Drew. And It's this girl, Michelle. I don't really know what her deal is, who she is. But it's like about her meeting Drew on the set of filming this. But it's like sort of scripted, but sort of not. They're kind of weird, but they're kind of cute. Drew's social media girl is in one of them.
Oh.
I sent it to her and said, oh, it's fun to see you pop up in this. And she hadn't seen it yet. So she was like, oh my gosh. She was kind of embarrassed by it.
I like how you like to point things out to them like, hey, you're in this.
Yeah. Doing the Lord's work over here all the time.
Yeah. So I was browsing Instagram yesterday.
Yeah.
And, I don't usually catch the stuff as quickly as you do, but I see that Chris Miller has posted a photo of himself with Drew and Brandon from Drew's. What is his role?
He is a producer at the show, and then he's also like VP of development at Flower Films, I think.
Okay, so they're hanging out. There's another friend there as well, but Drew was in Palm Springs at Chris Miller's house for the new year.
Yeah, so fun to see. I just always love seeing them together still.
Me too. And I've been like waiting for them to, because he like always is like, I'm home in Palm Springs and like hanging with friends and like, okay, where's our gal? But,
it's fun to think about.
Yeah, I love that she went into this place with safe old friends.
So she went to the West Coast when you went back to the East Coast, is what it sounds like.
We probably like crossed
paths in the air.
So crazy. But yeah, there's some darling photos on Chris's page. Is it public?
Yes, we will link to it.
Okay, so we'll share that.
Howdy, Drewbies. We want to tell you about our sponsor, Positive Medium. We've actually been clients of theirs for at least 10 years, and they take care of all of our website needs for thedrewsium.com.
They offer custom web design and professional coding, search engine optimization, marketing, and hosting. So we've been hosted by them, but we've also been able to take advantage of a lot of their expertise in these other areas as well.
Absolutely. So customer service is the biggest draw for us with this company. They have saved our site literally from obliteration quite a few times. But then they also help us with minor issues in just like literally a matter of minutes. So if we have like a coding question or just like something on the back end we can't figure out, we reach out to them and we get an answer back and the issue is solved within moments.
We're so excited that Positive Medium is allowing us to offer our listeners 25% off managed WordPress hosting plans using our promo code DREW, D-R-E-W, of course. And if you want to take advantage of this, visit positivemedium.com. We really, really vouch for these people. They've been so great to us and will continue to be great to us. I can only imagine.
I mean, they're great by offering this to our listeners. So take advantage. Again, it's promo code DREW, of course.
Okay, are we ready to get into the topic of 2023?
Let's do it. We want to talk about the best things of the year. Not really a year in review, just kind of like, hey, let's remember these highlights.
And I feel like for me, it's probably not as complete as it could be. I didn't like go rewatch everything. And you're just more generally like thorough with watching the show and all that stuff. But I feel like I still had a lot of opinions.
Yeah.
So let's get into first. Let's start with the best magazine feature. And there weren't a ton, but we've got some lovely options here.
Yeah, we do. And I think it was sort of a no-brainer which one we were going to pick.
Yeah.
We, of course, are going to go with New York Magazine.
Yes.
The amazing Mark Seliger portfolio of photos. It was a great in-depth article.
Yes.
It was just like such a feature that I don't feel like we see that much anymore, that style. And it was like a throwback in a way. And even though it was a bitch to get those magazines from them, New York Magazine, looking at you, it was still worth it in the end.
Absolutely. That's why we've talked about it so many times on the show, how much we need it, how much trouble we've been getting anyway. Let's stay to the positive things, and I'll say, obviously, that's the answer, that magazine. I wanted to give a little honorable mention to Better Homes and Gardens because there's some lovely photos in there.
Yeah, that crossed my mind too.
I wrote in my notes #Barrymore profile because there's a specific picture in that. The one you shared on our Instagram recently, actually.
Yeah. And Jolena, also, we put a shout out to on Instagram, like, hey, what were your favorite things about 2023 and as far as Drew goes? And Jolena, that was her answer, the New York Magazine cover and article. So we're in agreement.
Concur. Just stunning. If you haven't seen it, make sure you check it out. They're just stunning and honest. And I mean, the pictures of her inside of her closet with all the notes, it's still my background.
Yeah. Those are so you.
Yeah, I love them so much. Okay, so then the best episode of the Drew Barrymore Show. I think this was hard, but we had kind of a standout this year.
Yeah, we had to give it to the Ever After reunion episode. That was just really, really, like, not only was it special to have the people on from the movie, I think them all dressing up was pretty amazing.
Yep. And they talked about some fun behind the scenes stuff.
They showed behind the scenes footage that we now don't have access to. If anybody somehow recorded that, please hook us up because it was stuff we've never seen.
Yeah.
And then the props from the movie being there was so cool.
So special. That was such a well-roundedly amazing throwback with new info. And like they got like so much of the cast there. It was really like a great episode.
It was very well done. Yeah, I agree. We also had Timo, our friend Timo. He pointed out that was his highlight of the year, the Ever After tribute on the show. So again, we're on the same page.
Yes. And this is one of the categories that I felt like I didn't have like huge input on, but it was also like that's the one that you were like, you have to watch this. So thankfully I did see it before it was gone, and I'm sure we'll find a way to get the footage. We have to.
I hope so.
Okay, so let's jump over to best interview on the Drew Barrymore Show for the year.
Okay, I gave it some thought and I landed on Brooke Shields, and for a couple reasons, but I think Drew was very like open and vulnerable about her mom, which is always like really, ripe for being interesting.
Totally.
And it was just like fun. They had a lot of things like parallels that they could relate to each other about as far as their lives. And I don't know. I just took that one. That's the first thing that came to my head is like a really good, in-depth, serious, but fun interview.
Great choice.
I had some others.
Yeah. Let's hear about some runner-ups.
Okay. So I also thought of the one with Pamela Anderson, which I thought was really special.
Yeah.
The one she did with Melanie Linsky and Jason Ritter. That was a good one. I don't know if you ever watched that one.
I believe I did.
And then her one with Pink was also really fun. I don't know why. I just like thought of that one as a great one.
That one is, there's a clip from it that I feel like I've watched a few times because it maybe it's the whole thing where they're like sitting face to face and it's like they feel like the heart to heart they're having feels very like, I don't know, they're just looking at each other in a loving way. And I think they're like lifting each other up as like powerful women in a lovely way in that. And I don't know. There's something very like, there's a camaraderie between them in it and like a love. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought of that one too. So I'm glad that you brought it up.
We also had some people point out some other ones. Lunatic Fringe, of course. This is a Lucy Liu fan site. They picked Lucy being back on the show, which was super fun. We were there for that.
And then at Drew Barrymore Rebel said, when Drew interviewed Allison Williams as Megan, which really freaked out Allison Williams. So that's all I could think of. I'm like, I feel bad for her.
In fact, she was just back on the show and she said that was one of the most surreal experiences of her life. But when Drew's like contact was slipping, oh my God. Amazing. Both Vaco and at Tia.E22 mentioned the Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston interview, which was a great one.
Yep, classic. They were really pulling for the numbers with that one. And then my darling Jared submitted with a very obvious answer as far as he goes. And he said when Drew is with the Red Bull Racing Formula One team.
Yeah.
It was very cool. And also the like other part of the, well, not really, but like when, what's her name? Jerry Hollowell was on and they did like the follow-up kind of to that. That was really cool.
That was cool. And they went to In and Out, In and Out.
In and Out.
Let's talk about event looks.
Yeah. Okay. So what did you think of? Because I didn't really think of anything immediately.
Okay, yeah, this was like instantly first thing that came to my mind was when Drew was on the Tonight Show in April and she wore that fishnet outfit, that like head to toe. It was just such a different look for her, kind of sexy, kind of goth.
Yeah.
And I just remember we were excited by it.
Yeah, it is really, really cool. I was going through the images to just try to find, like, do I have something else that I sort of loved? This I didn't even remember, but going back, I really love the outfit she wore to the Tidy Cats event that's also from April. It's pretty boring. She's got like a high-waisted floral skirt and a jean top that's like buttoned up and it's tucked in. It's basically my like go-to outfits now are high-waisted skirts and tucked-in shirts. So I'm like, oh, but yeah, that fishnet outfit was really cool. It felt like she was sort of going to like that adventurous part of herself that she doesn't really let herself do that much.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
The last time she was on Tonight Show, didn't she also have like some gloves that were like covering most of her hands? Yeah. So she has fun on that show. And I love that the pattern matches the leggings and the arms. It's really cool.
It's real good. Good job, Lee Harris.
And now we're going to talk a little bit about our favorite casual look for the year. So you pulled something real cute.
Yeah, I picked when she went to the Knicks basketball game. And it was really because she was wearing jeans.
Yes.
We hadn't seen her in jeans in forever. Just like a really comfy but cute casual look, like huge tennis shoes. Just again, different from what we see for her. So, and like a hat is just, it was fun to see. So we'll include that photo if you guys don't remember that.
Yeah, totally. That's a very cute look. I also just pulled one of her many going out disguises because I think this particular one was cute. I think it was Chelsea Handler posted some pictures of Drew on Instagram on her stories.
Yes.
Saying like, I met my friend who was giving off Diane Keaton vibes, which if you don't know, that's who played Annie Hall. And Drew definitely has like on and off had like Annie Hall vibes. Even like season 2 or 3 of the show was like all Annie Hall vibes. I just thought it was cute.
Okay, good one. Let's talk tattoos because Drew got 2 new tattoos this year.
Yes, she did.
Which one do we think is the best?
So we've got sardines and we've got I Am Human. I love them both, but I think the sardines win. The meaning of them is just so like, you know, it's like it's all about her and her 2 daughters as they're like packed in the sardines in their bed. And it's just so darling.
I know. I remember like when we saw it, we were like, that's a weird design. But once you found out what it was and where she got it and all that, it just, I agree. It kind of has to win out.
It's grown on me. And just as a reminder, she got that alongside Savannah Guthrie, who got some writing by her dad. And they were done by John Boy Tattoo.
Nice work, John Boy.
Really, really darling, just like fine lines of these sardines. And then it was so cool that it was like from an Italian, like ceramic
piece
or
of
something.
ceramic. Yeah.
Yeah. Loved it. Okay. Best Drew Mag issue.
Okay, so we have, 4 that come out every year. And I think what I'm going to say is the best one would be the summer issue, which was called the Happy Place issue. And mostly because this is the one that had her in the mac and cheese bath.
Classic. It's like immediate classic.
Yeah.
I also I went through the files that we had for the Drew Mag and I don't have my issues because I brought them to California for safekeeping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I couldn't review them, but I do know that I loved in the spring issue when they did like a day in the life of Drew with tons of amazing photos.
That was actually, I almost picked that issue because of that, but I think that cover was a recycled photo.
Yeah.
So that I was kind of like,
Yeah, you couldn't accept it. And then I just had to like give an honorable mention to the colors of the design issue, the fall issue, because I loved the 70s writing. Like Drew's outfit could take it or leave it, but I loved the color palette they used for that issue.
Yeah, the fonts.
Yes, totally. Okay, so social media video. What are we saying is the best here?
Okay, I had to think about it. The one that I remember just making me laugh the most is Drew dancing as Megan in the hallway, and Ross is at the other end of the hallway. In fact, do you want to just play the clip? Ross is what makes this video for me, actually.
Megan? Honey. Congrats.
I don't know. It's just Ross's delivery. I just love it.
So I also really loved this compilation they put together that seemingly didn't have any necessarily a theme to it, but it's got this like lovely song over it and all these cute images. Everyone like ends with her laughing or smiling.
Yeah, just Drew being hilarious and cute. It's so sweet. I'm so curious about that footage of her in a like makeup chair with a big braid in her hair.
Me too.
She never has her hair in a braid. I don't know what that is.
No, and it sort of started to give me like the Swiss Maid vibes.
Yep.
When I saw it.
Yep.
That's a really great one. And just one more honorable mention, because I got to be a little selfish here. They posted actually 2 videos on their social media from the taping that I was at, but I particularly loved the one that they posted of Drew standing with Ross on stage, but not when the show is taping, talking about Thanksgiving and like the meaning of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I remember I told you about it and I was like, I really hope they'll, like we said, like we really hope they'll post it.
Yeah, I was like, I bet you they're going to post it. And then they did like a couple days later.
Yes, and they did. So that was really fun. And I'm so glad it's up there, obviously, again, selfishly, but I'm just, thrilled to have like one part of the show that I know happened.
I know. You were right there.
To have the evidence.
So cool.
So now the best brand collaboration.
Yeah, I thought this was sort of a fun category to include because she did a lot of them this year. Let's not deny the fact that Drew is out there making some money from her little sponsorships. But I really loved the one with Grove. Yeah. I loved the photos. I loved the products. And like we got so many pictures by deep diving on the Grove website.
Yes. And the products are great. I think you said when you got the soap dispensers that it always made you really happy to look at them, or was that Drew talking about it?
No, yeah. Well, actually, it could have been both of us, but I love because it actually has her writing. It says her, Drew with a heart, and it's her actual writing. Yep. Beautiful. So yeah, that one wins out in my head as the most enjoyable one of the year.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice. Just to kind of mention them, we had Tidy Cats, and then we had Bengal Blitz, of course. Is there anything else? Was there any like big one that comes to mind? I know there were
gotta
more.
Be
Garnier.
One more. Garnier, yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so agreed on the Grove.
Okay. Agreed on the Grove.
And then finally, into Drew's brands, what our favorite item that was released by Beautiful.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but I felt like we had to pick the Drew chair, right?
I mean, I've been coveting it for so long. They've released lots of new wonderful furniture. Like I want like everything, all the like wood tables, this black side tables, the like TV stand.
I want the couch, but there's something like, I don't know if the way that they just have been able to show it, but there's something like aspirational about the chair. Like it really, like they've done a really good job making me be like, ooh, I want that.
Yeah. And I think they like won a couple awards for it.
Yeah.
We talked about that. I am like, why am I waiting to get it? It's still on sale. If anyone out there wants to get it, it's like $50 off on Walmart.
Dude, you better just do it before you miss your chance.
I know, but yeah, I love the sage. That's the new colorway that they released this past year. But yeah, that's got to be it. Okay, any other like notable things we want to say about 2023?
Yes, I was just going to say, I think we have a couple other shout outs to include. We also had Christian mentioning Josie Grossi, the MTV 2023 edition. So yeah, the MTV video, TV and movie, whatever the heck they call themselves now, that award show that Drew was supposed to host and still kind of did. That was definitely a highlight of the year.
All those awesome videos.
Yeah.
Those were really cool. And I remember I was able to save them all online, which was
thank
awesome.
goodness.
Yes. In fact, actually, I'll just say one thing about that. There's a laugh that you do that really sounds like one of the laughs they used in the Wednesday.
Oh, really?
thing. Yes, I'll have to point it out to you next time you do it.
Okay.
Because I think it's something that was obviously pulled from like the Rain video.
Oh my gosh,
'cause they used
hilarious.
that. But anyway, I'll point it out to you next time you do it. But I love that. I mean, I think that pretty much wraps it up. We wanted to keep this one nice and short so we could get an episode out. As soon as we could into the year and not leave you guys hanging too long.
We have some good ideas for episodes coming up. I'm really excited. I've got like 3 that I'm cooking up in my brain of like ready to go. I want to do these.
She's cooking episodes, y'all.
We did take a poll. What types of episodes do people want? And still movies is winning out. But we've done a lot of those lately. So it might be a minute before we get to one of those again.
Yeah.
They are the most time consuming to do as we have to watch the movie and then put all the audio in.
Yep. So those are a lot of work.
So hang in there. We will get back to movies, but it might be a minute.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here again with us in the new year. We're looking forward to what may come with this podcast in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to help us grow, rate, review, subscribe, of course, Apple Podcasts is where you can leave reviews and we will read them on the show if you want a little shout out. And then go over to our Instagram at How Do You Drew Pod. And then we also have our Instagram at Drewseum, where sometimes you might even see Drew Barrymore herself commenting. Come join in.
Can't believe it. I don't know if I'll ever be able to really believe that.
That was the highlight of 2023. We finally got Drew to follow us on Instagram.
Yeah. Also, I got to see Drew this past year. Like that was quite a highlight.
I think that's a big one.
But I didn't even mention it because, no. Okay, so don't forget to visit our website at howdoyoudrew.com, hosted on thedrewseum.com. Make sure you sign up for our Patreon, where we're going to be giving out some really cool exclusive content soon, we promise. Don't forget to send listener mail to howdoyoudrewpod@gmail.com. As Ashley mentioned, tell us what kind of episodes you want to see. If there's a topic we haven't covered that you're like really stoked on, you might be able to push the right buttons and get us pushed in that direction. My question to take us out is, what are you most excited about in the coming year?
Ooh, well, Drew related, I will say, I know that they are coming here to Las Vegas to do something for the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
So fingers crossed that maybe I can be around for that in some capacity. We'll see. And then we're also going to take a trip to Hawaii this year. So I'm super excited about that.
Very cool.
What about you?
Let's see. So... I like how I ask questions and don't have an immediate answer. I think I'm just excited. Like, even though time is like doesn't make any sense, there's something about a new year that has this, like, I don't know, it's the potential for
yeah. How about us possibly getting our breathe tattoos together eventually this year?
I mean, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
I'm also really excited about having some visitors in Maine because I have some people planned to visit around the eclipse in April. So that should be really fun. And then Drew-wise, like I did some really nice organizing with my collection over the holidays.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I'll have to share some of that with you. But,
please. But
I can't wait to get to more of that. That means visiting California again. And I'm excited for what happens next with us.
Yeah, I know. There's like possibilities bubbling.
All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to The Bitter End. We'll see you next Thursday, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. This episode of the How Do You Drew podcast was researched and produced by Ashley and Ann from thedrewseum.com with help from our sponsor, Positive Medium.
Special thanks to Matt Costa for our lovely theme song, Roxy Prima for our adorable logo, and last but not least, Drew Barrymore and all the Drewbies who love her. We do this for you.
Thank you.